Ellen DeGeneres made a career out of making fun of other people and exposing them for things that could have been embarrassing or even damning to their brand and their own person. She never had a problem making people look like fools because it was for the good of the show, for the entertainment, and as of now, we know that Ellen DeGeneres has been involved in many evil things, including evil Hollywood and even the Epstein files. Today, we're going to be taking a look at all of her guests that came on her show and flipped the script on her, exposing her and making fun of her on her own show.
Here are 11 savage moments when comedians absolutely humiliated Ellen on her own show.
I like this.
It's the words, but I make my kids fly coach because they don't have jobs. What the hell they doing sitting in first class?
Right.
They don't have jobs.
So it starts off all casual. Wanda's just explaining her parenting style, talking about how her kids fly coach because, well, they don't have jobs. Makes sense, right? Then Ellen tries to flip it.
Yeah, but you have a job. Why don't you and Alex sit in first class? Because you have jobs, and then they sit in coach, and then, I mean, what's wrong with that?
The look on Wanda's face is priceless. She's thinking, what is wrong with Ellen? And then she doesn't hesitate to humiliate her.
Lord knows what somebody could just talk to them, tell them all kind of crazy stuff.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's,
Jesus, Ellen, what's wrong with you?
So basically, Ellen's suggesting that Wanda goes and sits in first class and has her kids in the back of the plane sitting in coach, which probably wouldn't be the best parenting decision, which Ellen clearly doesn't know anything about, but Wanda lets her know.
But as the show progressed, she doubled down on her roasts, just because she felt like it. One second she's talking about her own tour, and in the next, she's insulting Ellen's so-called tour.
It's gonna be great. And you toured. You toured for your special, huh?
well, I didn't really.
Yeah, you were nice enough to give me a jacket from your tour.
Yeah, I didn't.
You actually had tour jacket.
Well, it
made up.
It wasn't a tour. It was.
No, it says tour.
Well,
it says tour.
Yeah.
Tour right there.
4 cities, 3 of them in California? That's not a tour, that's a weekend getaway with merch. Or in Wanda's case, a weekend of shows for her.
Yeah. 4 cities. 4 cities. That's a weekend for me. That's not a tour, Ellen. You need some dates. And look, and 3 of the cities is in California. What the hell? What the hell?
Not a tour.
And the best part? She does it all with a smile while casually dragging Ellen's entire tour schedule through the mud.
I was very busy. I was very busy. I had to shoot Game of Games, and I have this show, and
She clearly felt uncomfortable with being called out, and if this were anyone besides Ellen, maybe you'd feel a little bad for them because on their own show they're being humiliated, or maybe not humiliated, embarrassed in front of their audience. All she could do was laugh at the jokes and try to think of some kind of a rebuttal. Unfortunately, her rebuttal wasn't very good.
Ellen was struggling. The moment Wanda called her out, you could see the gears turning, and none of them were working. She started stuttering and fumbling for excuses. And then there's Sean Hayes, who came in all goofy and gay with his funny jokes, but had sinister motives.
You've been on the air for 15 years.
on this particular show, yes.
Wow.
Yes. I've also done other things in the past,
Well,
but yes.
I'm not going to read your resume.
Sean completely dismisses Ellen's achievements and 10 moves onto totally ignoring her, acting like his cup of tea was much more interesting than anything she had to say, even if she was complimenting him.
That's because you're hilarious, and I love you, and you're talented and smart, and all the... Oh, no.
I got it. Okay, so... so what were you going to talk about?
Throwing tea water at her. That's interesting.
No, nothing. I was complimenting you, but you didn't hear it.
No, thank you. Yes, thank you. Well, I just complimented you.
Then he proceeded to drop a roast so smooth Ellen didn't even see it coming. It was so quiet, it's almost hard to miss.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, and then nothing.
And then next question.
Yes, which I'll do now.
Okay, great.
So Will
So
and...
seamless. No wonder you've been on for 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are like, do you see her transitions are so...
That was a good segue.
Yeah, amazing.
Because I connected it. I said, that's what I'll do now.
I know, can't shut it off on Ellen's brain.
You have to wonder if these people are coming on because they don't have respect for Ellen, possibly because they know of the things that she may have been involved in the past. Remember, everyone in Hollywood knows what goes on. It's not a secret within that little private society.
But Ellen fired back a little salty and very defensive, trying to defend her interview style.
Yeah.
No, it was not...
How long was it the first time around before y'all got canceled?
The only thing is, Sean has never been one to hold back. He kept calling her out, saying her interview style is too abrupt, randomly shifting from one question to the next with absolutely no segue. Then, there was Wendy Williams, who did not pull her punches. She dished out the most humiliating moment in Ellen's entire career.
Let's see.
As much as I want to not like him, I love his new song, and he really is cute. And some people say that he looks like you.
Being compared to Justin Bieber is rough.
Oh, I forgot the name of the new one.
That's not new.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
What's his new song called? I forget. I know all the words.
Yeah. So,
Sorry.
Do I look like Justin Bieber?
No, they have made the equation.
Oh, well.
That's in a good way.
I don't mind that.
He's cute.
He's adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That has got to sting.
And some people say that he looks like you.
I don't know if that's like if that's the worst insult she's ever gotten. It's not that bad. I mean, it's not like Justin Bieber's some disgusting person after all.
I've heard that. You've never heard that? They say it in a good way. Okay,
What's
fine.
the song? What's the song?
Wendy Williams directly insulted Ellen, but Kathy Griffin decided to take a more roundabout approach to humiliating Ellen.
Hear this one.
She published a book on it.
You had a beef with, not
boy.
a good experience.
Oh, boy.
Some
A
blonde talk show host.
Oh,
Daytime.
you caught that. I was so foolish, I thought I was writing like a sneaky blind item.
no.
But I think, someone said something about whatever. So, yeah, I'm talking about Ellen DeGeneres.
Buried in her book like a casual afterthought, she threw shade at Ellen, where she calls her out for not being a girl's girl. It's the worst kind of offense.
I have to just
She
come
was not
clean.
nice to you?
Well, here's the thing. In my very last dinner with Joan Rivers, we would always check in with each other, and I'd be like, "Where are you with Ellen?" And she'd be like, "Oh, still hates me." And she'd go, "Well, what about you?" And I'd say, "Oh, she thinks I'm mean." And the truth is, I guess I feel like I'm sticking up for a pal.
How could you not support other women? She's literally gay. She loves women. She's attracted to them, yet she can't take time out to uplift them?
But, like I said, there's so few female comics over 50 that are making a living or doing okay. Like, we need to support each other. And I just thought, what am I waiting for? But almost every time Joan Rivers and I would get together, we'd be like, anything from Ellen? No. You? No. And it wasn't like, it was more like, I wish we were better at supporting each other.
Now, if you think Kathy was the only one Ellen doesn't like, you're wrong. A fan commented, Ellen seems to treat Wendy Williams the same way. It's so hard to watch Ellen interview Wendy. It's so obvious she's not fond of her.
You know how sometimes when you have men that are jealous of other men and their accomplishments or their physique or their money or their looks, and some men will be mean towards other men because of that. This could be a very similar situation, and we often see it with women as well, where a woman is jealous of another woman's looks, her physique, her money, her life situation, her success. And although Ellen DeGeneres doesn't really have anything to be jealous of, she was quite successful, rich, financially stable, and, just famous herself. Maybe she does hold a little bit of a grudge towards these other women. And I think that her being gay has nothing to do with it one way or another. I don't think that means that she should or shouldn't stick up for other women. I think that all people, us as humans, should be uplifting to other humans, no matter what your gender.
But this wasn't as bad as when Ellen thought it'd be funny to hang a creepy life-size cutout of herself in Clint's lawn.
Yesterday, I showed you a gift that one of my viewers sent in. It's a piñata that's supposed to be me, I think. There it is. It's like looking in a mirror. It is. A terrible mirror. I wasn't sure what to do with it, so I decided to pay it forward. I hung it in front of Clint Eastwood's office.
Only Clint Eastwood beat the out of it instead.
Stop. Like a piñata.
He grabbed a bat and kept hitting it as if you were imagining her face in real life. No hesitation, no mercy, and then called her a bitch. And let's be honest, he looked way too comfortable doing it. But when Ellen does everyone dirty, who wouldn't be excited to hit a lookalike?
He had a good swing for a guy that's, well, pretty up there, right?
Especially when Ellen DeGeneres has a knack for just not letting things go. One thing she loves to do is put people on the spot.
True.
She just can't stop coming after Ricky for needing a drink to come up with his mean jokes.
Ricky Gervais is not a guy that you want to come at because he is going to come at so much harder. He's one that if you're going to say something about him, you've got cojones.
Why did you say yes to the Golden Globes again?
Well, firstly, I really did say no, and I just thought I haven't got the time, but they said all the right things. They said I can say what I want again.
You really do say whatever pops into your mind. I know you prepare, but you also just whatever you feel like saying, you say.
Yeah, that's the fun of it, really, because sometimes I don't know what's going to happen, so
right.
that's good.
Ricky could not have been more direct. Like, yes, he speaks his mind, what about it? But Ellen tries to grill him for drinking, too.
And you always have a beverage in your hand. You're drinking most of the night.
Yeah. If I didn't drink, I wouldn't be brave enough to say some of the things I'm going to say.
I see. So funny. At what hour do you start drinking before the show?
Well, it starts very early. So I probably have a little one going about. Well, last time, no.
He has an answer for literally everything, and he's not ashamed. He later came on Jimmy Fallon and made it very clear that no one can shame him because he is very aware.
David Brent is back. I want to talk about it because this is going to be I love that character.
Oh, thank you very
very
much.
much. By the way.
I look great.
Yeah.
Is that sarcasm?
No, it wasn't.
You see, this is the thing with you. It's a talk show. Oh, you look great. Even though, look at me. Of course I don't look great. Look, I'm worse than last time. Last time we talked about getting old and losing my hair.
Luckily, there are a lot of celebs out there who have turned the tables back on her. They aren't going to stand to be humiliated. So when Dakota Johnson sat down and then casually obliterated Ellen in broad daylight, everyone was clapping.
You turned 30.
I did.
And how was the party? I wasn't invited.
Actually, no, that's not the truth, Ellen. You were invited.
Even fans were shocked at her honesty.
This was actually funny because it was actually the truth. It wasn't a dig. It was just saying, no, Ellen, you're lying.
One of the fans said, Dakota ended her. Can't believe the comments aren't disabled. Ellen tried her usual fake surprised, I wasn't invited to your party bullshit, and Dakota, without missing a beat, reminds her of how rude she was last time she was on the show.
Okay.
Last time I was on the show, last year, you gave me a bunch of about not inviting you, but I didn't even know you wanted to be invited.
Well, who doesn't want to be invited to a party?
Straight up called her a liar on her own show. Then she doubles down. Just when Ellen thought it couldn't get any worse, Dakota doubles down on the accusations.
Well, I didn't even know you liked me.
Of course I like you. You knew I liked you. You've been on the show many times, and don't I show like?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
But I did invite you and you didn't come. So.
This time you invited me?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How do you know? I don't think so.
Ellen tried to spin it, tried to recover, but you could see the panic flashing behind that frozen smile.
I actually think that this is the worst one of all of them so far because this one is actually the truth, exposing her for the lie, and she looks visually uncomfortable, of course.
Ask Jonathan, your producer. Who said you were?
I was invited? Right. Why didn't I go?
I don't know.
Was it? Oh yeah, I had that thing.
The last blow to Ellen's ego was when Dakota said Ellen wasn't her favorite comedian. Now, that's gotta hurt.
No, but I really didn't remember that until just now. But Tig Notaro performed at your party?
She did.
She did a set?
She did. It was a surprise.
What did she do?
A bunch of funny stuff.
She's hilarious.
She's my favorite comedian. Other than you.
During a game with Cher, Ellen says something embarrassing.
Okay, Ellen, 3 things that turn you on.
Oh, music, sweetness, and chocolate. This chocolate does. I just made that up?
I was thinking in a whole different place.
Really?
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking, you know, handsome, tall, sweet.
Yeah.
Who gets turned on by music and chocolate? Talk about weird. And instead of owning it like a normal person, she pulls out the oldest trick in the manipulative playbook: gaslight and deflect.
Did we both have sweet?
Yeah, I said sweet.
Okay.
Chocolate doesn't. I just made that up so I'd win. Does chocolate turn anybody on? Really? You're like, really? You eat it? And you...
I love it. I don't get it much, but I love chocolate and cake.
But then, Cher snaps and calls Ellen a on her own show.
Oh.
I mean, look, I'm working on my body, and I just don't.
Right.
Like, I have chocolate. I'm lying.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
And then it turns you on?
No, it doesn't turn
You
me
just
on.
said it did.
No, I didn't mean it in that way.
Okay.
Cher, how old is Cher? I gotta actually look this up because, I mean, this is a few years old as well. So Cher's 79 years old right now. Let's say this was 5 years. She was like 74 years old. That's actually incredible. Good for her. I mean, has she had work done?
All right.
Ellen looked like she had been slapped in the face. One fan said, "You can tell Ellen wasn't very pleased right after seeing the way Twitch laughed. She basically snapped." One of the funniest and most awkward moments on Ellen's show came when Chef Giada De Laurentiis tried teaching Ellen and Nicole Kidman how to cook.
Arancini?
Yes. So let's roll some balls. Come on.
Let's
Ready?
roll.
We got some risotto.
All right.
We only have a few minutes. We gotta get something done.
All right,
around here.
roll some balls.
So we've
Me
got,
too?
Yes, you I'm just gonna stand here.
Yeah. All right.
Yes, you too. So
I've
you
got
just
balls.
scoop it with the ice
Yeah.
cream scooper.
And what?
I've got it.
How do you make this in the first place, though?
In my
In
hand?
your hand. Yes. Now roll it. Yeah.
Ellen was acting so clueless and distracted, Giada had no choice but to start talking slowly, using tiny words, and explaining things like she was teaching a toddler to boil water.
Was she trying to make a balls joke? Is that what was the attempt right there? Like she was trying to be funny about something and really it didn't land?
Have you
Well,
ever
why didn't I-
made any kind of ball
Balls?
before?
No, I'm not.
See?
It's Nicole. Have you made meatballs or anything? Just look. Go ahead.
See, she was going for the balls joke.
This is a family-friendly show.
Okay, so look. So I made some risotto. You guys have both had risotto before, right?
All right.
Anybody had risotto before?
You could see the condescension bubbling up. Giada was this close to snatching the spoon and saying, "Just let me do it."
Okay.
With the leftover risotto, we make little balls.
Uh-huh.
We dump in a little flour, just
Okay.
like this.
Right.
Then almond milk. Okay, then you take the ball like that and the little breadcrumbs.
Yep.
Okay, but be delicate because Ellen, that looks like dog food now.
And honestly, by the end of it, Giada looked like she'd aged 5 years trying to keep it together.
I think she still looks good. She didn't look like she aged.
She can't cook, but it turns out Ellen has a real talent for saying something's her absolute favorite, and then butchering it beyond recognition.
She can't cook. But what have we explored recently about her cooking? What type of meats has she been cooking? We spoke about this in other videos as things have been exposed about her keeping her youth. So you may want to check out the playlist of some of the previous videos in this channel because Ellen actually did cook, but only some specific things.
So, does he really know the words to that
kind
song?
of smart.
No, he's
kind of smart, you guys.
he's got two smart parents.
You didn't get that far from me.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. You know how much I love that song.
Well, thank you. Yeah,
I sent you a video of me singing that song.
That's true.
She did it to Justin Timberlake too. She said she loved his song, gushed about how much she listened to it, then got the lyrics completely wrong.
And
that's true.
It was
there was no tequila involved in that video.
No, for sure.
Let's see the clip.
No.
No?
Yeah.
You don't have that clip?
She knew she had messed up and didn't want to humiliate herself even more, because a video would be cold, hard proof of her incompetence.
It's really high when it goes, can't stop the feeling.
Yeah, it is.
It's high.
It was my favorite was you were like, just electric, just electric, just electric. I was like, that's not the word.
That's no. It's just electric. Those are the words.
Although I should have written it's just electric.
What is it? I always thought it was just electric. What is it?
At this point, if Ellen says you're her favorite, brace yourself. She's about to mispronounce your name, mess up your work, and then gaslight you into thinking you're the problem.
Pretty pretty clearly says just imagine, but...
Did y'all know that? I swear.
You know, I'm not one to defend Ellen, but it does kind of sound like it's electric, just saying.
Listen, let's see, let's roll the clip.
What makes everything worse is she keeps trying to manipulate Justin into believing his own lyrics sound like something they're not.
It sounds like just electric.
Pretty clearly says just
All right, well, I'm glad to see some other people thought it was just electric. And now...
I don't think anyone raised their hand.
Yes! See?
That's sympathy.
No, it's not.
No,
No, some people raised their hand at first being honest, and the other people were too scared to, and now they're being...
Manipulating a song is one thing, but manipulating someone's name is a whole other level of disrespect.
You should know your guest's name before they come on the show.
Hasan Minhaj calls Ellen out on national television for being culturally tone deaf.
It's so nice to meet you. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's Hasan Minhaj.
No.
Yes.
No.
Really?
Well, my name is Hasan Minhaj.
Oh.
He humiliates her when he brings up the fact that she can pronounce crazy white names, but can't pronounce his name.
Good, please, because everyone that says your name says Hasan Minhaj.
Yeah, but the real way you pronounce it, and this is a big deal because my parents are here, it's Hasan Minhaj. And people
Hasan
always
Minhaj.
mispronounce it. They're always like, Hasan Minhaj, Hussein. I'm so sorry, I can't pronounce it. Meet my son, Higsby Witherthrottle III. And I'm like...
Ellen acted like
That's funny.
saying someone's name wrong was quirky, but it was just blatant disrespect.
So clearly there was nothing in here that was damning of Ellen DeGeneres' whole name and any of that, but she did not do her research on a regular basis before having guests on her show, and some of those guests blew her up for it and made her a bit look like a fool. This video is originally from Matthew Wellington's channel, which I'll be linking down below, and remember guys, if you want to see more deep and dark things regarding Ellen DeGeneres and maybe what she did used to cook, check out this video. I'll see you guys over there.